I watch Conan O'Brien's podcast.
Oh, really? Dude, he's such a legend.
He is awesome. He's like he's my favorite. I think that's the only podcast. No, okay. There's a few there's like some philosophy podcasts that I've watched.
Nice, because you studied philosophy, right?
Yeah, that was my major in my degree.
Yeah.
There's this one podcast called like The Essentialist, I think, and he just talks about Nietzsche. But I'm like skeptical about how much this guy actually knows.
Oh yeah, he's just talking out of his ass.
Because like when you talk about Nietzsche, you can kind of just say almost anything, and like the majority of people will be like, oh yeah, like that makes sense. Even if you've read it, you'll be like, okay, no, I can see that. But like, I think most people that speak on Nietzsche just get it completely wrong.
They just get it wrong.
And I don't know enough to know when people get it wrong. So I'll be just like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, you're like part of the group. I think you're like, for sure.
Yeah, that sounds good. But I don't know. I'm skeptical of this guy.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's fair. I feel like sometimes you can tell when people just don't know really what they're talking about.
Yeah. But what I'm scared about is when you can't tell that someone doesn't know what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that happens way more because people are so confident when they talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, that sounds real. Like that sounds like a fact.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know enough to like, I don't know, doubt that.
Yeah.
Or it's like you say that you think that doesn't sound like a fact,
yeah.
but you don't know where to go to like prove that it's not a fact. So you're just like, I guess that's true.
Do you find yourself like easily swayed sometimes by people who are very confident? Because I find myself super easily swayed by people who are just like speaking like very matter of factly. And I'm like, I guess I believe that.
I would say that in like a meta way, I am aware of my tendency to do that.
Yeah.
And because of that, I like preemptively doubt every single thing that I hear until I've like fact checked it myself. So I like will purposefully not believe. I won't like bring a thing into my belief set until I've like had the chance to analyze it.
Yeah.
But like, I think just in regular conversations, I'll like pick up on what people say and I'll kind of be like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, you're like,
that sounds real.
Yeah. But you got to spend some time looking into it to see if it's something that you align with too personally, right?
Yeah, I want to like avoid like blindly agreeing with things, especially because like, you like watch reels or something like that, and like 80% of what you see is stuff that like you already agree with. Yeah. But it's like kind of adding on to what you agree with, and so it's easy to just be like, oh, like I'm just gonna add that to my beliefs because like it's not challenging anything. Yeah. And then I feel like that's where the risk comes in, because you're not skeptical about something that you have like a predisposition to believe. Yeah. And so you're kind of just willing to add that to your beliefs. But that's how they like, whoever that is, will get you to believe things that maybe aren't like as factually sound as you'd want it to be. But you don't question it because it's like they're just showing you what you want to hear, and then you just like get entrenched in these beliefs that you don't have any reason being entrenched in because they're supporting your predisposed beliefs. I don't know.
It's like an echo chamber, right? Like when you that's what they call it, at least, like when your algorithm feeds you what they know you're going to engage with, and you engage with things that you agree with.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you only hear things or see things that either affirm your beliefs or agree or expand on what you already believe. But like the things that you see that challenge your beliefs are either like non-existent, they're like not in your echo chamber, or they're these kind of like caricatures of what that belief would actually be, so it's really easy for you to reject it. I don't know if you found that when scrolling through the gram or anything, but it's like when you see something that's like radically opposed to what you believe, it's always this like really caricaturized version of that belief set, and so it's easier for you to just kind of reject it and like dispose of that belief rather than critically engaging with it, because they show you like a stupid bastardized version of
like a mascot essentially for the belief, right?
Yeah. And so like you think that you're engaging with like both sides and you're like very partisan, nonpartisan. But really, like, you're still only engaging with stuff that supports your beliefs. So they're only showing you stuff that they know you'll agree with.
Yeah.
And they is just a mindless algorithm that doesn't really have any purpose. But you're still only engaging with stuff that supports your beliefs, even though you think you're seeing stuff that disagrees with you.
Yeah.
But it's not the people on the other side that disagree with you. They're being showed a completely different set that supports their beliefs. And then when they're shown your beliefs, they're shown like a really stupid like version of it that's easy for them to reject.
Yeah, like something that it like fires that sort of like hate bone in their body where they're like, that's why I hate this side. Like this is it's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, do you know that what's that there's like this YouTube show or whatever, where they'll have like one Christian versus 20 atheists.
Oh yeah. 100%.
The opposite of that.
Yeah.
Whatever that freaking show is called, I forget what it's called now, but I feel like they are the like definition of that kind of rage baiting, like stupid.
Dude, it's so weird because like defending a belief until the group decides that you have to leave that chair is like the dumbest way to debate anything.
Yeah, it's such a stupid platform. And they gave like the most recent one, they gave like literal fascists like a platform to just speak about fascism as if it's like a debate that we should be having. Like, you know, maybe fascism. We should look at the middle ground between fascism. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe genocide. Oh, I don't know.
Totally.
But what the hell?
Yeah. It's super crazy. Yeah, I know exactly what show you're talking about, and it's you like. And
I forget what it's called now.
It's by Jubilee.
Jubilee, that's it.
It's by Jubilee.
They're pure evil.
Yeah.
I think they're pure evil. I don't know. I don't have all the facts to prove it, but I think that they're evil.
Yeah. I mean, it's again like what you're saying, like a caricature of like that opposing belief. And then you get people to like speak on it, and usually it's like 30 seconds, and then they clip all the stuff where it's people getting very emotional.
Exactly.
And then they get more views, and then they get more money, right? And it's like a never-ending cycle of just BS, basically.
Yeah, it's very scary. They can clip it so that they can kind of support whichever belief set they want to pull out of that hour-long debate. They can find little clips that make it sound like the one person debating is losing and the other people are right. And then they can clip it in a different way that shows that the one guy is winning the debate and everyone else is wrong. And then they could show you whichever one you would want to see. And then it rage baits you, but also like affirms your beliefs. And then it just
100%.
like, it puts you into this place where you can't ever critically engage with any of that stuff. And also gives a platform to people that have like just really bad views,
damaging views, right?
Yeah. Like, have you heard of the Overton window?
No, I've actually heard of that phrase, but I don't know what it is.
The Overton window is basically like it's a window of what is acceptable to talk about in like public speech, like what kind of political ideas or social ideas are acceptable. And so you have like everything from the furthest right to the furthest left, everything that within this window is what is kind of acceptable. Like, you wouldn't be shocked to hear someone talking about it. Right in the middle is like very normal stuff. Like, I don't know, toast is tasty
toast.
Or something.
The weather.
And then on the edge is like, I mean, I don't want to get too intense, but like whatever the craziest political thing you can think of,
that's like genocide, something like that.
Yeah,
right?
That's on the edge.
Yeah.
And then basically the Overton window is something that's not fixed. And so whatever the craziest ideas or thoughts that are in the public lexicon would be, that is the edge of the Overton window. So when you kind of introduce new things that are further,
it stretches it.
It stretches it, or it moves it over to a new direction. So something like where you want to have like a real like productive conversation about fascism, like Jubilee, and bring 20 fascists onto a podcast, and then all the crazy stuff they say that now like kind of validates all of their crazy thoughts and ideas, and it moves the Overton window so that all of what they're saying is now within the public lexicon. So they're you're not as shocked when you hear people say things like, I don't know, I don't want, whatever they said on that. So that's I think, a real consequence of what Jubilee does.
Yeah.
Even though maybe they're not doing it on purpose. Maybe they're just like, this sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah.
But if you have fascists on your show or podcast, you're really just moving it. And so now when people say that stuff, the real danger with the Overton window is that as it moves further in one direction, the crazy stuff on the edge maybe is still kind of like, whoa, I don't like that. Like I recognize people think that way, but I don't like it. But then the stuff that's slightly less radical than that is more acceptable.
Becomes normalized.
Yeah, and so as it moves, the stuff that's normalized is further along that radical path than it would be if they didn't move the window. So we're moving it over in this direction where like crazier and crazier stuff is allowed to be said.
And people are starting to like kind of just get more normalized with it, right? It becomes less outrageous. It becomes like, oh, I heard that last week on Jubilee.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I saw that on my feed like yesterday. You know what I mean?
Literally, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're recording now, right?
Yeah, we're recording. Just
sorry to start with such a heavy topic.
No, this is good. I like to kind of just start and just like kind of let people like kind of like just relieve and talk about whatever they want to talk about. You know what I mean? Because
that's fair. Can I vape in here?
Yes, you can. You most certainly can.
Yeah. I've got to check first.
No problem.
Just
no problem.
Blindly vaping. And
you're just like
you're over there like,
the disrespect. No, cool. Okay, tell me how to pronounce your last name.
It's Lavoie.
Lavoie. Okay, I was really hoping it was Lavoie. Like I was saying that, I was like Julien Lavoie because it just sounds like. Is it French?
It is. Yeah, it's French.
Yeah, it is French.
So, but it's not wrong to say Lavoie.
Yeah.
Because that's not the French pronunciation. But my grandpa, who's very French, he kind of like hated being French because he was, around in the 40s or 50s or whatever. He was like not happy to be French and wanted to pretend that he wasn't French.
Yeah.
So he would always call himself Lavoie so that people wouldn't think he was French. So and he's like the paternal figure in my family. So he called us Lavoie.
Yeah.
So it's not like wrong to say Lavoie
because
of his influence. But the original, if you meet anyone in Quebec where it's like a very, common name, then it's Lavoie.
Yeah. Is that where you're from?
No. I'm from Vancouver. I have my family, I think originally came from Manitoba. The majority of them came from Manitoba. So there's like a big French Canadian community in Manitoba, and like most of my French Canadian ancestors came from there.
Oh wow, okay. Is there actually a big French Canadian population in Manitoba?
Yeah, so there's like this city called Saint Boniface, which is like there's a spider on me.
Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot here. We call this place Trash Kingdom, by the way. But yes,
all right, cool. I like spiders. Cool. Saint Boniface. It's like 90% French, French Canadian, and I think there's some other pockets of French Canadian groups in Manitoba. So I think Saskatchewan also has a lot of French Canadians.
Oh,
so you think of French Canadians as like just Quebec, but
but
we're kind of spread throughout Canada.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Well, Julien Lavoie, thank you for
bonjour.
Bonjour. Thank you for coming on the podcast and agreeing to do this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
For those who don't know, I personally think that your album came out last year, right?
Yeah.
I think it was one of the best albums of the year in Vancouver, personally.
Thank you.
I really, really liked the album. I came to Julian's album release show with Postmodern Connection. Who was the other band that played? Because I think I missed them.
The other band was Lavinia.
Okay, so that's also who I came to see as well. Lavinia.
Sweet. Lavinia is awesome.
Lavinia is super awesome. Yeah. She's actually playing at our next Champions of Hope show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be with the Retro Lights.
Yeah, the Retro Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so cool. It's like jazz, but like very like catchy pop hooks. I think at the album release they did a cover of Redbone, which is I love that song.
I remember that. Yeah, and everyone was like, song. They just freak out. Covers are like a magic thing sometimes. When you pull them out and people recognize them, everyone freaks out.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta kind of throw one to the crowd every now and then.
Yeah,
And if you're a newer band and no one knows any of your songs, you can kind of like take the whole 45 minutes or whatever just to like play your own music, but you should throw one to the crowd, do a song that they recognize, and then they can all be like,
yeah. Throw them a bone, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys play a cover? I don't think I've heard you guys play a cover before.
Yeah, we played for a while. We were playing a cover of a Yellow Days song.
Oh, Yellow Days is sick. That's a
Love
sick
Yellow
pick.
Days. Gap in the Clouds.
Nice.
And then we played Puma Blue song.
Okay.
Which was which one was it? It was a Puma Blue song.
Nice.
I don't remember which
one of them.
Yeah, but I love Puma Blue.
That's sick,
it's
man.
Moon Underwater.
Moon
Underwater.
Underwater. Gotcha. Yeah. I love that. Well, yeah, thanks for coming again. I'm a massive fan of Julien. I made sure Julien has known that. I made sure that you knew that, because I was like, dude, I think my Spotify Wrapped last year, you were like 4 out of the 5 songs, and I was like, dude, like I actually like love your music. Yeah,
one of the biggest compliments I could receive.
I'm happy. I do it too as well, because like since getting into the Vancouver scene, I've gotten into a lot of Vancouver bands. Mm-hmm. I like to make sure like I tell Vancouver bands like I fucking love your music, because like as a person in the band too, like I love when people say that to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's reaffirming too as well. It's like, oh, like it's not just like you said earlier when we were talking, like going into the void and just no one hears it.
Yeah, especially with like, you know, Spotify and like all those streaming apps and stuff. It's like, it's really easy to kind of think of it as like literally just putting it up for no one.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's gonna, and you see like a number.
Yeah.
You know, on your Spotify for artists or whatever, you'll see a number. It's so meaningless.
Yeah.
It's like, 10 people, 10,000 people, whatever. It literally means nothing.
Yeah.
But like real people, hearing from like actual people that have listened to your music makes it just, I think one person telling you that is worth hundreds of thousands of streams on Spotify.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I remember in my band when we had our first like legitimate fan who just like heard our music and saw us on Instagram and came to our show and brought a friend. I was like, yo, this makes it all worth it.
Yeah, that's a really good feeling.
Yeah, totally.
I kind of, when that happens, I don't always know what to do because I'm so appreciative that I don't want to like oversell how much I appreciate it. But I think I do. But then maybe sometimes I undersell it. I don't know. When someone comes up to me and says like they've heard my music outside of the show that they just saw, I'm always like a little bit unsure of what I should say because I can't express how much it means to me.
Yeah.
I want to seem cool when it happens, but inside I'm like, holy fuck, what the hell?
That's so funny because I feel that way too, and I just oversell it so hard. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, no, I've had it before where somebody will come to a show, and they like tell me that like, oh, I've listened to your music, like I'm a fan and stuff, and I'm like so excited, and I feel like I don't know, I do something to alienate them, and if I don't see them at the next show, I get so sad. I'm like, I fucked it up. They hate me now.
Dude, 100%. That's funny you talk about overselling because I remember like talking about this fan like on another episode of this podcast and being like, I'll probably never see her again. I probably oversold it and scared her off. And she came to the last show a few days ago. And I was like,
yes.
I was like,
you kept it.
All that panic for nothing. I was like,
the fan's still there.
Yeah, I think for me, like recently, actually, I had this like kind of what's it called, meaningless number I wanted to strive through for like monthly listeners.
Yeah.
And then I realized that like it's like you said, it's meaningless. Like it's way better to have like loyal fans who care about your music and want to follow you than it is to have like X number of streams. Yeah.
Well, like when I had like one of my songs was reposted on a YouTube channel, and it got like a fair amount, for me, like a lot of streams. For on the large scale, on the it's not that many, but for me it was like crazy, and I would see the number and I would for a brief second be like, whoa, that's crazy, but it doesn't like translate unless you see those people in real life, because as soon like you'll see the number and for 5 seconds it's cool, and then immediately after that it's meaningless. And it's, if you actually see somebody that has connected with your music or like listened to it and appreciated it, that is so much more lasting. Like it just sticks with you. But a number, it's like there's always another number that you want to achieve. So like for 5 seconds, you're like, wow, I got to this number, like, 200,000 streams or whatever. And then like 5 seconds later, you're like, well, it's not 1 million streams.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure when you get to 1 million streams, you're like, well, it's not 10 million streams.
Yeah.
You're always comparing yourself with whatever the next level is.
Yeah.
It's like the same with Instagram followers. And I've seen like influencers talk about that, where they'll be like, I have like 10,000 followers or whatever. And for all the people under 10,000 followers, that's like great. That's a huge accomplishment. Like it's amazing. But as soon as you get there, you have like a few seconds where you're like, that's really cool. But then immediately you move the goalpost and you're like, well, these other people have like 50,000 followers or 100,000. And I'm not there yet, so I still suck. And then they get up to that level, and then they're like, well, that's really good, but I mean, look at these people. They have 1 million. And then you keep moving the goalpost and going further and further, and you're like never able to actually achieve a goal. Because it's meaningless. It's like alienated from the actual purpose of art and purpose of like what you're doing. And like one person saying that they appreciate your art, that's like a real human connection that's like, embodied and like part of you. And that's like immediately 1,000 times more meaningful. And it lasts.
100%. What do you think the purpose of art is?
That's a hard question. I think the purpose of art is to express private, personal, and emotional experiences. And to express it in a way that isn't just kind of throwing it out into the world, but expressing it in a way where other people who might have experienced something similar can relate to it and feel some sort of comfort, some sort of like someone has seen them by having this personal, private experience reflected in art. And it's like a conversation between the artist and the person that's engaging with the art. And it, it's obviously through whatever specific artistic medium you choose, but it's ultimately about expression and about communication.
Yeah, conveying emotions, and I think allowing others to connect to those emotions that you experienced. Yeah,
because if you think about it, I don't know. I don't know if other people will agree with this or if you'll agree with this, but I feel like there's all of these aspects of experience of being like a person that are seemingly incommunicable. There's no way to like, write down an objective account of like what it meant to go through some experience. And so there's all this stuff that's just kind of unaccounted for. And it's really like hard to account for that or share that type of experience. Like you can't, if somebody, like this is the classic philosophy example, but like if somebody's never seen the color red before, there's nothing you can explain that will like give them the experience of seeing the color red. There's no words that can like give that experience to someone. And that goes for like all sorts of different experiences that we have throughout our life. And I think that art is kind of the way of taking all of those private experiences that can't be explained or shared in any other way and putting them into some sort of format that allows for some type of communication about that experience. Like if you think of like paintings, like when you look at a painting, that kind of gives you the experience of what the painter was trying to convey when they painted that thing. So like Impressionism, like Van Gogh or something, he's not just painting like a starry night or painting whatever stuff he's wanting to, like, whatever setting he's thinking of. He's painting how he sees it in his mind. And when you see that painting, you're not just getting the Starry Night or his self-portrait or whatever. You're getting like a glimpse into what he actually experiences when he sees a Starry Night or something else like that. So it's a very like, it's subject dependent. And it's in that way, it's like a deep personal communication between the person looking at the art or listening to the art and the person creating it.
It's like a way to communicate things that can't be traditionally communicated.
Yeah, 100%. It's a language, but it's like a new language, and it's one that none of us are like fully fluent in, and we're like trying to learn and create this language as we go along.
Totally. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I think, something that I always have a goal to with my music is to try to bring people into the state that I was in when that song came to be. Whatever it may be, like, some songs you're in a very bad state, some songs you're in a very happy state, some songs you're in a very longing state, but you want to express the inexpressible to people about how that felt to you using music or whatever your medium is.
100%. That's that's at least that's how I create music, and that's like what I want to try to do with music. Like I'll have an experience or an idea or a thought or something, and I'll like keep that in mind, and it's just kind of looming over me while I try to create the music, and then I'm just hoping that it can get conveyed through whatever I'm creating. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like it's a process, but that's what I'm trying to do when I create art. Like I want to share something that's really like intimate and private through the music that I make.
100%. I actually have a question for you. Well, I have a lot of questions for you, actually. I should say that.
One more question.
Yeah, this is the last question. It's been 20. Where do you think like songs come from, or creativity comes from?
I mean, that's a really hard question. I mean, I think that it comes from all of our desires to be seen and to be heard, and the finding of a medium to allow ourselves to be seen and heard, and the attempt to use that medium to express things that we might not be able to express in other ways. And I think that, I mean, on the other side, you can take like a purely like theoretical approach to music, and you can learn like all of the different, music theory facts or whatever, and probably put together like a pretty coherent piece of music. And I don't want to like, I don't want to crap on that type of music at all. I think that's also very impressive, and I think it's a valid form of music. But I think a lot of music, and the music that I like to engage with, it comes from a place where somebody has like a tool, like their instrument or their voice, and they have, some maybe like poetry or something that they use as a tool to express or to speak about their experiences, and so it's like an attempt to be heard and to be seen in a way that you don't get through any other medium. I think that's where the music that I like to listen to comes from. This very like private, personal place where they're trying to share their experiences with other people and like document it to an extent, trying to prove that it happened, to prove that like they were there, that this was something that occurred in history.
Totally. Totally. It almost feels like it's also just as much for the artist as it is for other people in the audience, almost more so for themselves. Like I find when I write songs, like like I try to write like for me, like something that I like that expresses how I'm feeling to myself. And I hope that other people can relate.
Totally. Like when I was writing my last album, it was kind of like I was doing it like instead of going to therapy.
Oh yeah.
And maybe that was a mistake, but I was in my mind, I was like, I don't need therapy. I'm just going to write songs.
Yeah, I got Ableton, bro.
That will replace therapy for me. And this is healthy. And this is good.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, this is it's cool knowing you have a philosophy background, because I think it's just good to dive into those topics, because I always think about like where music comes from. Like, you know, when you get that like feeling when a song just kind of comes to you and you just kind of write it down and it kind of blurps out of you. Like I always wonder like where does that come from? And I always subscribe to the belief that like it's a frequency that kind of just gives us things, and through our experiences, our life, our family, our friends, everyone in our inner circle, we're able to express those emotions.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, like, if you think about like language, like the way we're speaking to each other right now, it's not something that like we have to really think about while we go through the process of speaking to each other. We're not like selecting words and picking them out and structuring sentences as we speak. We're just kind of, it's like almost like a direct flow of like thought into language, into communication. And I think that art is kind of the same thing, but we're just like, you know, we speak to each other like all the time. Like, you know, every form of communication, the majority of it is through language. And so we're like so used to doing it that it doesn't seem like magical or creative or anything like that. Whereas like art, you know, we only get limited times, whatever time we can spend in the day using art. And so it's like a language that we're still kind of learning. We're like A1 level or whatever in artistic communication. But yeah, I think it really does, like, the best type of music is when you get this kind of like direct flow from thought, from experience, from whatever, right into the music. And so it's not like something that's like painstakingly like written out and planned and like objectified or whatever. Like we're just kind of like, we haven't, you know, when you like jam or something and like it just kind of comes out of you. It's like you're literally having a conversation. I feel like it's like a similar thing with language.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. No, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Okay,
I think
cool.
It's just, it's a language. I think you put it really perfectly. It's a language we're still learning, and that we're very, very like kind of, in terms of our understanding of it, like we don't really know. It sort of just kind of comes out of us through our experiences, through our feelings, through our thoughts, through our emotions. And again, like I always think that I don't know if this is the best way to say it, but like the songs that I'm most proud of are usually songs I didn't fight to get out of me. Yeah.
When a song is like, I don't know, some of my favorite songs that I've written, I would write it in like a day, you know, and it's just out. It's like, it comes out so easily. And then there's other songs I spend like weeks and weeks trying to like write and perfect and figure out. And like, they never sound as good as I want them to.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're trying to come up with a sentence and it takes you 2 weeks to come up with it. It's going to sound messed up probably.
Yeah. It's like, how does a syllable sound when I end it here?
Yeah, exactly. You never think about that when you're just speaking openly.
No, 100%. It just comes out, right? It's just automatic.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, lots of crazy good information coming out of here. So
I think this is a very productive conversation.
Me too. Let's bring it back to you. Can you like tell me a bit about your musical journey? Because I know you and Max had a band together early on. Is that true?
We did, yeah. It was like maybe the end of high school, which was like 2015. I think 2016 for him. he like we had jammed a couple times through another mutual friend, and he was wanting to put together like a jazz band. And he messaged me. He was like, "Yo, I'm putting together this jazz band. We're gonna do just pure jazz. It's gonna be like a jazz, like one of the old school cool jazz. We're gonna do something like that."
Speakeasy.
Yeah, and I was like, "All right, that sounds cool. I don't know how to play jazz, but I'll go." And like he brought together this like, you know, this group of people, and we were playing music. I think we did like Work Song, which I don't know if Cannonball Adderley wrote it, but he has like that was the version we were trying to do, and that's like a jazz standard, and we were doing like a cover of that. But then really quickly we realized that like at least half of us didn't actually know how to play jazz. And we would just kind of jam, and the jams were really fun. So we were like, this is still a really cool project. Like, let's keep this going. But like we weren't really a jazz band. And we kind of like, you know, I think different people joined and left the group, and we came to this point where we had kind of this amalgamation of like sort of jazzy sounds mixed with funk, mixed with rock and roll.
Nice.
And kind of just like an anything goes type of vibe. And we had like a very like jammy idea in mind where we'd have like maybe a few chords figured out, maybe like a melody that we would come back to, and then everything else in the song was just like kind of improvised on the spot. And it was honestly like one of the coolest bands that I was in. It was so much fun to be in that band because it was like you would come to the band with that very rough idea of like a chord progression, maybe like a chorus or whatever, but then you would bring it to the band and see how it would transform and see how everyone came together to turn it into something else. And yeah, so we had like, you know, maybe 10 songs or whatever, and we would play shows. Some of us didn't want to play shows that much, so it was hard for us to like come together and like actually plan stuff. But yeah, so we played maybe for 2 years or something, and me and Max wrote a fair amount of the songs, and we were the ones that usually wanted to do a lot of music and play as many shows as we could. And some of the other guys were kind of like, I don't know if I want to play so much. And it kind of petered out after a while. One of the members got tendinitis and then couldn't play for a long time. And that kind of like killed the band a bit. Another member moved away.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, that, you know, typical band stuff.
Yeah, totally. Things peter out.
Yeah. So me and Max were in a band for a few years.
Nice. That's awesome. That was the end of high school?
It was like, yeah, from the end of high school for like a few years after that.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, what are some of your earliest memories regarding music, making music, hearing music, being inspired by music?
Well, we always had a piano in my house, and my dad would play and like kind of improvise, and he had like he went through like Royal Conservatory, but like was really into jazz and stuff like that. So he would just kind of like improvise piano, and we'd all sit by the piano and like listen, and he'd have us come up and like play stuff. And I think I got like a couple piano lessons, and I hated it. It was like really bad because it was like we were just learning scales and stuff, and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And then I started playing. I like, there was a guitar in the house, but a couple of the strings were broken. And I wanted to play guitar so bad. I wanted to try it. And I like begged my parents to like pay to get it restrung. And they kept saying like, no, like not yet. And then they got it done as like a birthday gift to me. They like restrung the guitar. And there was like a guitar chord book lying around in the house. And as soon as it was restrung, I like picked it up and I started like learning the chords and looking up videos on like how to play songs, and I was just like immediately like so obsessed with guitar, like I couldn't put it down. And I was like obsessed with the Beatles. Like I only listened to the Beatles. So I tried to learn like every single Beatles song that I could, but I never wrote anything. I didn't write any original stuff until I like smoked weed in grade 9.
Ah, yes.
And I remember like being so frustrated. Like I would sit down before that and I would be like, people can write music. So it shouldn't be that hard. And I'd sit down and try to write something. I couldn't come up with anything. And then I like started smoking weed and I sat down with the guitar and it was like, whoa, I can just like come up with stuff that's never been played before. And then, yeah, I just never turned back from that.
That's so sick. Where do you think that drive to like pick up the guitar and want to play, where do you think that came from?
I don't know. Like I always just felt like this need to play music. I guess because like my dad was like very musical, and my mom was quite musical too.
What did your mom play?
She also played piano and sang.
Oh, nice.
And so we'd always have like music in the house. We'd like be making it together or like listening to it. And I just always felt this like kind of need to play music. My sister has synesthesia.
Oh, where colors?
Where, yeah, like a sound will produce like a color or like some sort of, image. And so she was playing a lot of piano when we were younger, and she'd play like an E note and she'd be like, green. And I was like, awesome. What?
You're like mind blown.
Yeah.
Totally.
And that kind of just made, and she would actually like write a bunch of music. Like, I don't know she would write weird songs, but she would like go on the piano and just be like, this is a song. I was like, what?
Like, where did that come from?
That's insane.
Yeah. What color is that song?
Yeah. That kind of made me want to play music more. And then I had a few friends in school that also played more formally. They had lessons and stuff, piano or other instruments. And I was always kind of like, I would be like jealous of them, and I'd be like, I can do that too.
Yeah.
And that kind of pushed me into doing it as well.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. What do you like? What purpose does music serve in your life now? Like, what does it give you that like makes you want to keep doing it and keeps bringing you back?
Kind of like my first thought was like escapism, where it's like a moment where I can kind of get away from all the noise of like work and like life and relationships and just everything, where I just sit down with the guitar and I can play something and I get away from it all. But I don't know if escapism is the right thing, because it's not like I'm escaping to music, but it's more like I feel like everything else is like an escape from music. Like I always feel this like need to be playing music. When I'm not playing it, I feel like drawn back to it. So it's not quite escapism, but it's like there's something that's just innately drawing me to music.
Yeah, it's almost like there's like gravitational pull happening in the area of music, and every time you're like veering farther away, you can feel that pull. Yeah,
anytime I start like another project or start going down a different path, I'm always like, how am I going to fit music into this? Like what role does music play in this? How am I going to play as much music as I can? I don't know. What about you? What like draws you to music?
I think for me, like we talked about it, I think earlier, like I've always been bad about like talking about my feelings and expressing them with like loved ones and people around me. So I found like when I first started to write music, it felt like a way for me to express things that I couldn't really figure out how to express. And I got into music late. Like I was like, I think 18 when I picked up the guitar. Oh, wow. Yeah. So I started writing as soon as I picked up the guitar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Cause I just like,
ready.
Yeah. I was ready. Like it's funny. Like the first time I like started to write music was freestyling.
Wow.
Yeah, like I just started freestyling, and I was just like, "Yo,
That's
this,
awesome.
especially after like my first relationship, after like the first like heartbreak is like almost a year and a
Oh,
half and
man.
everything, and I was like, I need to get this stuff out, you know?
Yeah. You had like an overflow.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
like released the floodgates when you picked up the instrument.
Exactly.
It all came out.
Exactly. And like as soon as I picked up the guitar, it was like immediately to writing music. Like
Wow.
it was like the
Awesome.
first thing that came out of me. So yeah, I think I try to fit as much music as I can in my life now. And I try to write like songs consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it just like it feels like how I feel after like therapy.
Yeah. I totally get that. It's like a kind of release or something.
Yeah.
Where it's you're getting stuff out. You're like you're clearing the muck from the river.
Mm-hmm. It's
and
like you're
letting
like
the water flow.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're unclogging something and
Yeah.
things begin to flow a bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I definitely feel that like weight lifted on me.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
100%.
Can you walk me through the process of Swan Dive from like conception to releasing it? Because that, again, like I won't glaze it too hard, but I love that album so much. I think it's
Thank you.
I think it's awesome. Got it on CD, got my sticker. Like,
hell yeah.
You need to get more shirts too.
Yeah. I've got a few left.
Nice.
I can give them out at my next show.
Nice, hell yeah. Okay, yeah. Walk me through the process of like the idea of Swan Dive, how it came to be, and then to finishing it.
Well, the first song on Swan Dive, which was Always It's Always, I wrote while I was still in this like long-term relationship, and it was kind of like when there was a lot of
Don't worry, that's our background. That's just
just coming down a bit. That's okay.
it was professionally mounted, but it's
It's styrofoam. It looks like brick.
that's so good. I love that.
I was worried for a second that I was gonna die. This whole brick wall was.
This is how I'm gonna end on
Yeah.
Champ's Corner podcast
This is
episode
the
5.
last episode. Julien Lavoie dies.
Julien Lavoie dies on live camera.
Au revoir. Yeah. So I had this song that I wrote in this relationship, but kind of like when it was approaching the end, and maybe I was like, I saw the end, and I had all these like emotions about the relationship, and I wrote this song, and it was kind of weird because it was like sort of a breakup song, but while I was still in the relationship. And I remember like, my ex was kind of like, she was like, "This is a pretty song. What the hell? Why are you writing about us breaking?" And so it was a bit weird, but it was like reflecting kind of where I was at that moment. And that was like maybe a year before we like actually ended the relationship. And, we'd been together for a long time. And from like a young age, like we started dating in high school.
How long did you guys date for?
6.5 years.
Oh wow, so yeah, it's a long time.
We lived together. We had like pets together.
Oh, yeah,
It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
And so it was like coming to an end when I wrote that song, and then like when it did end, it didn't end on the best terms. It was pretty like chaotic, and I was like going through a lot, not just because of that, but just like life in general. I was like in a pretty dark place, and I felt like I had to get that out somehow. And I felt like, I'm always playing music and like writing stuff and doing stuff. And I felt like if I direct all of this like pain and energy into the songs that I'm writing, that I might be able to work through it in like a good way or a healthy way. And now I see maybe I should have just gone to therapy. But I was like, no, music is the way to do it.
No, I wanted Swan Dive. I'm sorry. Just kidding.
All right. Well, I'm happy that my pain brought something good into the world.
I'm just kidding.
It was like starting out as kind of this like attempt like for achieving catharsis about the relationship and working through some of the hardest parts about the breakup. And I had written a couple different songs, and I started kind of piecing together this like idea that I wanted to express through the album, as opposed to like just the individual songs. I wanted to tell like a larger story. And with each song I wrote, I would kind of situate it within this timeline of the breakup, and it was kind of like partly through writing the songs and partly like as this kind of preconceived outline. I started putting together this maybe like semi-fleshed out story or timeline of the breakup, where it kind of started with like some of the maybe like unhealthy, like not good aspects of how we approach the relationship, but still within it. And then through the breakup itself, and then kind of through like the recovery of it afterwards, or the processing of the emotions afterwards. Mm-hmm. So most of the album is about processing the feelings after the breakup has happened. And I kind of wanted to go through the 7 stages of grief. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that actually happened, but it was kind of like just a very rough like structure to follow that kind of pathway through grief out the end towards this kind of like acceptance, not necessarily like feeling better, like it's resolved or anything, but like at least I've accepted that this is now like a part of my life, and I've like gotten to the end of it. I've gotten through to the other side. Mm-hmm. And the album name Swan Dive is meant to kind of symbolize the choice to take this dive into the unknown of being outside of this relationship and outside of what you're familiar with and comfortable with, and like you know that it has to happen because it's not like a good place that you're in. You have to go through this change, but you're going into this uncomfortable new place that you don't really want to go into. You kind of want to stay in this comfortable familiar place, but you recognize you have to get out of it, and in that sense you have to like, you kind of just have to leap. It's like a leap of faith, like Kierkegaard. You just have to like go out into the void and just like take that risk and see what happens. And so the album is like basically about going through those emotions after that happens, and kind of coming out on the other end with acceptance.
Cool. At what point did that narrative begin to take shape? At what song did you realize that narrative was about to get weaved in, or did you already have that idea pre to?
So like I had Always It's Always written.
Yeah.
And then I wrote I Wasn't Made for Love. And so Always It's Always is kind of like, it's like a sort of middle way point, I guess, because it's like not really accepting anything yet, but kind of realizing the situation you're in and like maybe taking stock of the feelings you had. And then I Wasn't Made for Love is kind of like this, it's almost like a denial that you're in, where you're kind of like, well, like, you know, fuck relationships. I don't want any of that. I want to just like be outside of love. I'm done with it. And it was like angry kind of and annoyed. And then I wrote the last song, which is Goodbye Baby Blue. Thank you. That one, actually, like I had like a dream, which was a very intense, like kind of messed up dream. And there was a point where I was playing a show in the dream and I was playing that song. And when I woke up, I still like remembered the melody and the chords. And I like picked up my guitar and played it and tried to like write down lyrics. And it ended up being like a very kind of, it's still like sad. It's still like melancholy. So it's not like anything is forgotten or like completely resolved, but it was like I was writing it from a place of like kind of like I've accepted what's happened and I'm like moving forward. And it's like the first song in the album where it's like looking forward to the future. And I wrote that song and I was kind of like, I don't think I was there yet, but I realized that that's where I had to get. And I kind of realized that there's like a bit of a narrative there that I could create, where like I have to go through these different stages and steps to get to this place where Goodbye Baby Blue is like the actual mindset that I'm living. And that was kind of the first point where I wanted to put some sort of structure to it. And then the rest of the songs, I would kind of write them. I wasn't like writing them with like the thought that like, oh, this is denial. I need to whatever.
Yeah.
It was just kind of, I'd write the song and then I'd situate it afterwards and then figure out where that fit into the narrative. And yeah, but it wasn't until I think after Goodbye Baby Blue where that happened.
Yeah. That's interesting you say that, because that's almost to the T exactly how I write. Like the first album is just like, I have all these songs and I write them, and then I kind of figure out like, what am I trying to say here? Like what has come of all these songs, and what's like the the core message I'm trying to convey.
You're like trying to interpret it afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's, you kind of like I like using the word weave, like weave the narrative through of like, this is what I think this means.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because I think you can go the other route where you like write it with the specific intention of like putting it in this part, and like you're writing it with that story in mind. I think of like, I don't know, rock operas or something, like Tommy by The Who, if you've heard that. I feel like those types of things are like written with that narrative in mind, and they're like planning it out and stuff. But it's like really easy to be overwritten when you do that. And I think, I don't know, it's not how I don't write that way.
Yeah.
Like I can't really plan it out.
Yeah.
In that way, it has to be like somewhat after the fact, where I can piece things together or try to make sense of it.
Yeah.
But while I'm writing it, it's just like whatever comes out.
Yeah.
That's there.
No, totally. That segues perfectly into my next question. Like, what is your songwriting process? Do you have a process, or do you kind of go with whatever is given to you in the moment?
Yeah, I think more the latter, because like when I'm writing, I feel like it kind of just comes together on its own. And if there's moments where I don't have any inspiration, like nothing's coming to me, and I'll sit down because I still need to like play something, and I'll try to write something, and it's just like, it's so frustrating. Like nothing comes to me, and like I can't put anything together, and I'm like, what's going on? But then other moments I'll just sit down, and it just kind of comes out. So it's really kind of like, I don't really have any understanding of writing or how I write. I know like what the process is when I have the song, when it's like coming out of me, which is that like I'll usually have a chord progression, and then like a melody comes, and then I'll try to fit words into it, or sometimes I'll start with like a line and then fit it to a melody, and then a chord progression will follow. But I don't really have any, like some days I just feel inspired to do it, and like something comes out, and other days like I could try as hard as I can and nothing will come out.
Yeah. You ever start with lyrics?
Sometimes, but usually it starts with the chord progression.
Yeah.
Because I think the hard thing for me is like the rhythm of the lyrics, without any music or melody to structure it. I find it really hard to like come up with that rhythm, or to fit what I write to a rhythm after the fact. And I find it easier to kind of create the constraints with the chords and the melody first, and then try to fit whatever lyrics can fit in there after the fact. Because otherwise it's just too open. Like I could write anything and it could have no rhythm.
Yeah.
I won't like figure out
what
that rhythm could possibly be. That would sound good.
Totally. Yeah, that's again, like to the T, kind of how I process things is like chord progression first, melody, sometimes melody first, sometimes. That's kind of rare. Yeah. I try to like work with melody first, but it's like, again, it's hard if I don't have the constraints of what I can sing or can't sing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like a lot of the lyric writing is always the hardest for me. And sometimes what I'll need to do is like have the melody and the chord progression in my head, and then I'll just go work like an 8-hour shift, and throughout that shift I'll just be like singing it in my head and figuring out what fits into that.
Totally, man. Yeah, sometimes I'll be in the back room of my work being like trying to like
there's so many voice notes on my phone of like you hear everything going on at work and just me like
It happened to me last week. I'm like la 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 la. Okay, cool.
You can't lose it.
Yeah.
So if you don't record it, then it's gone forever.
It's gone forever. That could have been an amazing song. Like you never know, right? Yeah.
Any idea could turn into like the next best song that you've written.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. No, that's awesome. One of the things that I noticed when I came to your album release shows the way you play guitar. I think I've talked to you about it before.
Oh yeah.
The thumb and the fingers. It was so great to see you play that way because I play that same way too.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
With my like kind of my pointer finger and my thumb. Like I think my like last year I like bled on my guitar for like the first time. My thumb getting all cut up and mangled and everything. And I know I listened to your podcast with James and you talked about it, about how like you said like it's not the right way to play guitar. It's just bad habits that have kind of just compounded that it's just the way you play now. Yeah,
like I think if I've tried playing with picks more recently because I'm like I should do it. I should just do it the right way. It couldn't be that hard. And I pick up the pick and play and like I regress to like a beginner guitar player.
You're trying to alternate pick.
I forget everything about playing guitar. Like I just can't do it. Like I can kind of make it work, but it's just because I've gotten so used to playing without the pick now that like all of my guitar playing ability is dependent on me not having a pick.
Yeah.
And I lose it as soon as I use a pick.
Totally.
So now it's there's just no way for me to go back.
Yeah. No, it's like it's too far now. It's like I'm gonna have to bleed every other show. It's like,
Oh man, it's bad. Like using your thumb too much, you get like this huge blister.
I literally just have it like right here too. Yeah.
I feel it right now. I mean, now it's more of just a callus, but sometimes it turns into this huge blister, and it's like, what?
It's like if I just started with the pick. But I think also it adds to your tone, right?
Well, I think there was a moment where I was recording and sometimes I would record and be like, I should record with a pick because the tone's better. And I would try it with a pick, but then the tone sounded off. Like it wasn't the way that I wanted it to sound. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to switch back to the like using my thumb and fingers because it was like a softer attack. Whereas the pick is like a really sharp, quick attack.
Yeah.
The fingers kind of like almost remove some of that attack and make it like very smooth and soft.
It's almost like with the transient, it's like when you use a pick, it's like it's sharp up and down. But with like your fingers, it's like kind of like loose and it goes. Yeah. It's just softer, right?
Yeah, it's very soft. So there's another. One of my favorite guitarists is Wes Montgomery.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He plays with just his thumb.
Yeah.
And I think in some interviews he talked about why he did that. Mm-hmm. And it was because he lived in like an apartment and had to play quietly. Mm-hmm. And with a pick, it was too loud. So he would play with his thumb instead, so it would be quieter.
Yeah.
And he just like, same thing, he just got used to playing with his thumb.
Yeah.
But it started from this desire to like play quieter.
Yeah.
And I think that like, even with an electric guitar, you can turn it up as much as you want. It still does give that like kind of softer sound, softer tone. And that's, I like that.
No, totally.
Like that sound.
And it's interesting to think about that, especially with your style of music. It's like, why did you primarily start only playing with your fingers? Was it because you started with some style of playing or didn't have access to picks or?
I started playing without a pick because I would be playing songs that needed to switch between like picking and like finger picking.
Oh, like hybrid picking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would get so annoyed. Like I couldn't do it fast enough. You have to like put the pick in your mouth or something and then go back to finger picking. And then grab it and then go back. Like it just didn't work. And so it was easier for me to just switch between like, strumming and picking if I just only used my fingers the whole time. So I remember it being a practical thing and because I was playing by myself, like I guess normally you'd have two guitarists and one person picking and finger pick, but like I was wanting to play the whole song myself, and so I just got rid of the pick and would do it that way, and I just kind of got used to it. And one of the first people that I played a lot of music with also was like really anti-pick, and we kind of formed like we were like 12 or something.
Coalition.
We formed like a coalition of anti-pick people. And there's this other guy in our school who played with a pick, and he was really good, and we like hated him.
Oh yeah,
because he'd play with a pick. We were like, you're not part of the group.
Yeah. It's so funny, man. That's hilarious.
It was a good time.
Just being 12 years old.
Yeah.
yeah. Hating on people for minute things, dude.
Yeah, you gotta exclude people somehow.
You gotta like find your tribe.
Yeah,
right.
And he was cooler than us, so we had to find some way to like get a leg up. We were like, well, yeah, you use a pick.
You use a pick, bro. That's hilarious. Like when you said that, I was just thinking about like your style of music and how like it fits perfectly with the way you play guitar. And it's almost like, did the way you play guitar influence the style of music that you ended up doing? Like it's like chicken or the egg kind of thing that I was thinking of for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like it did, to the extent where I switch between finger picking and strumming a lot throughout my songs. And I feel like I do that because I like gave myself that. I was so focused on that when I started playing. And so maybe that like has changed how I write guitar parts, because I can switch between them really quickly on the same guitar track. I don't need to do like two separate takes. And a lot of the time it'll just be one guitar track through the song. So I feel like it does change how I write the songs a little bit. And then also like maybe because I got so used to hearing that softer guitar tone, I wrote songs that like kind of used that and fit that. So I could definitely see it, but I'm just kind of guessing. I don't really know if it did happen, but somewhere in the back of my head, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I gotta fact check that though.
Yeah, I gotta double check with my subconscious.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah. Tell me a bit about what it's been like playing in the Vancouver music scene and how that's influenced you, and positives.
I mean, I love the Vancouver music scene. I think it's a beautiful scene, and there's such an insane amount of like talented people in the scene, like just so many, it's hard to keep track of. I feel like every week I'm finding out about like 10 new bands, and then I want to like think that they suck, but then I hear them and they're like the best bands I've ever heard. And it's just so many people, but I feel like the city itself does not care about the art scene. And I feel like it could be like the local politics, it could be any number of things, but there's very little structured support for the music scene. And so most of the music scene that I've been a part of has been kind of like done defiantly, like against that. It's been like underground venues, underground shows, like promoted through social media and word of mouth. Like it's not part of like the city's infrastructure. And I feel like with other music scenes, like maybe Toronto or Montreal, or like in the US or something, there's a lot more kind of like appreciation for the arts as a part of the infrastructure there, as something that brings people there, as just like something of value for the city. And Vancouver, I feel like, has almost nothing. Like, look at the venues that are like well established here for like local artists to play in. Like, what is there? The only one that I can think of that's lasted more than 5 years is like Redgate, and they've literally had to fight tooth and nail to stay alive. And then the other venues are like, I don't know, they're here and there, but they're not really like a part of the music scene. Like there's just random spots, like what's that one on Granville Street, that like has the carpet and
I don't know,
like a club. Anyway,
Roxy?
Yeah, the Roxy. Like that, people play music there, I guess.
No,
like no one, it's not like a part of the music scene.
No, it's
just
not like
this,
it's not a spot.
no, it's like this weird place that like people go to because it's kind of a club, but it's like really creepy and like I don't know. It's not a safe place, I think.
Well, it's also not like a good vibe. Like,
No, it's a weird vibe there. I think there can be good shows there, but it's not like a staple of the music scene.
Yeah.
You know? But like the venues that are staples of the music scene, like you know, Redgate now, or like other places historically. Like I don't know if you remember or went to shows at 333.
was that used to be 648?
No. This was 333 Clark.
Okay, yeah,
And it was a venue for maybe like 3-4 years. And it was like so many cool shows happened there. Like Winona Forever played there. Shui played there. All kinds of like up and coming bands would play there. It was like kind of the spot. And it was shut down so quickly. But that was like when I was starting out in the music scene, that was like a staple. That was like where you wanted to go to play. You had to work your way up, but you'd get there eventually.
Yeah.
And it's gone. It was gone so fast. And like, I don't know, like Grey Lab has been around for like maybe 2 years and is already being pushed out.
Yeah.
Because of like just the insane costs of like supporting a venue here. Like every single place that starts to become a part of the music scene is just pushed out.
Gets snuffed out.
Yeah. And like where else, you know, you have to have those spaces. And like a lot of the people that, you know, run these spaces or like organize shows or promoters or whatever, like they, you know, they have to deal with this chaos and like all of this pressure fighting against them. Eventually, like a lot of those people are just like, why am I doing this? Like this is bad for my mental health. This is bad for
Become jaded.
Yeah.
Right?
And they want to step away from it for good reason. And it means there's like, it's really hard to have people that stick around in the music scene. It's really hard to have venues that stick around in the music scene. And like the best thing a band can do in Vancouver is to get out of Vancouver, which is so sad. And we have so many talented artists and people who love music, but we just don't have enough stuff supporting them, I think. That's my speech about the music scene.
No, and I wholeheartedly agree with you there. There's such little support going on.
Well, you've put on quite a few shows.
Yeah.
And so you probably are like firsthand getting that experience of like how horrible this city is for
dude, like
shows.
I've put on like a few shows here, and the thing that always like amazes me is, like you said, like the amount of talent that's here. And one of the things that I love about Vancouver is the fact that there's no distinct sound that's coming out of Vancouver, because there's so many different types of music coming out of here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like shoegaze is kind of like is getting a bit more predominant here, but like, you know, Seattle was like the grunge city for like the 90s and everything. It's like Vancouver, and like Toronto's rap, right? Like Vancouver, there's no real sound associated with it, because there's just so many different, like you can go to a show on a Saturday and see like 3 completely different genres of music in the exact same night. And go to the same venue a different day and see 3 completely other separate genres a different day too.
There is a very strong punk scene here, and that's been around for a long time, because my dad was like really into the punk scene.
Really?
80s. Yeah.
What a legend.
Yeah. So that's actually been like pretty strong for a while.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with you. There's so many different styles and genres, and like you can get almost anything here.
Yeah. And putting on shows has been like, it's been a huge blessing. I personally think that a lot of bands should try and put on their own shows. I think it's a lot of work, a lot of mental strain on me personally when I was doing it, and I'm still doing it now, and I plan to do it for a long time. And we're trying to work our way up to owning our own venue as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be super awesome. But again, like, I wouldn't say it's fairly difficult. I think there's just a huge lack of like third spaces here for music.
Yeah.
Like places where people go to specifically for the music scene, where you can see the same people coming every week, get to build a community, get to make friends, get to connect with people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is something that's really missing. I feel like Green Auto has managed to pull that off a fair amount. And then I feel like there's spaces like Redgate has like a pretty consistent kind of like punk or like alt scene where people will come to the shows regardless of who's there.
Just come because it's Redgate, or just come because it's Green Auto.
Yeah. But it's also like not always that consistent. It's like it's not the same way as like you would hope to have a venue that people will just go to, every show, or like at least once a week they'll go to a show there because they know they're going to find some cool music there. They'll usually go because they are familiar with one of the bands, or like their friends playing or something, and they know Green Auto or Redgate is a fun place. So they'll just go for that. But then there's nothing drawing them to go there when their friend isn't playing. So it doesn't really have that kind of like, oh, I'm going to check out this place and see what's happening there.
Yeah, totally. I think how much time do you have? But because I don't want to take up too much of your time here, I do really enjoy
What time is it?
where this is going.
I could probably go for another like 20 minutes or something.
Okay, cool.
15, 20
Okay,
minutes.
cool. I think with the music venues, with the music scene, I think the sad part is like a lot of young people now, they go out to clubs, they go out to bars and everything. When I personally think like going out to a show is like so much better, in my opinion. I think it's
Totally
way more fun. You get way better conversations and everything now too. And I want to try and be part of that shift that goes from people just going out to bars on a Saturday night, but going out to a venue to go have some drinks and see some good music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. It kind of needs to like make its way back into the kind of like, I don't know, cultural mindset.
Yeah.
Where it's like people kind of, they know that they can go to a bar or a club on the weekend, and so they'll make a plan of going to like celebrities or something like that, regardless of what's happening there. And they don't really care. They're going for the space.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't happen with music. But there's no reason it shouldn't happen for music, because like I guess maybe sometimes you'll accidentally catch a band that you just hate. Like how often is that really gonna happen?
Yeah. And it's also like, how many times have you been to a club and hate the music that's being played?
Yeah.
It's like
all the time.
Like all the time, right?
All the time. And you don't know who this DJ is. They could suck.
Exactly. It never takes requests either. So it's like I think there needs to be a big cultural shift, and we're trying to do our part with like creating shows that make people want to go to it and come back because it's a certain brand of show. Because that's where I think the real change lies, is like that cultural shift where like people just want to go to Redgate because it's Redgate on a Friday night. Like who doesn't want to go to Redgate on a Friday night?
Yeah, exactly. Like you just kind of know you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
Yeah, totally.
A lot of the time with shows, you don't know if you're going to go to a show and there's going to be like 5 people in the audience.
Yeah.
And you're one of the 5 people. And so you're just like, all the pressure's on you. That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, totally.
That's the scary. So you don't want to have that. I don't know, maybe that's part of the thing that discourages people. And then maybe also like, I don't know, maybe there just isn't enough of like a staple venue that people have found they always have a good time at. Which doesn't make sense, because Green Auto really is. I've never had a bad time at Green Auto.
Neither have I. Never once have I gone there and regretted going there. Yeah,
it's so cool. So that place should just be packed, like just front to back, filled with people every single day.
Yeah. Totally. It should be like a lineup like that. Like, like celebrities like on Tuesdays or whatever. It's like, it should be like that every night at Green Auto, where it's like people.
They get bouncers. They have like a list. Like, you're not on the list.
You're not on the list. Sorry, dude.
It's going to be 2 hours till you get in.
Yeah, that's what I am really like doing my best to be part of, like the solution in that regard, of seeing if we can like make it a staple to go out. Because like I talk to like people who I work with who are a bit younger, and they just go out to bars, go out to clubs.
Yeah.
And I always say, just go out to a show. Like,
Yeah, have the night revolve around the show, and you can do other stuff around that.
Yeah.
Like when you go to a club, a lot of the time people will go like somewhere first,
Yeah.
maybe somewhere after the club. Like you can do that with a show.
yeah,
Just, have the main event be like going to a show, catching a band.
Yeah.
Maybe something you've never heard.
Yeah.
Maybe a band you've heard before or been
Yeah.
wanting to check out.
yeah,
You just have that as like the kind of central thing.
Yeah.
But then you go to a bar before that,
yeah.
go
Go to the
somewhere-
club after if you
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
I think we just need more we need some solidarity with the music
100%.
scene. We need people coming together and being like, we're going to make this happen.
Yeah, totally. A movement.
Otherwise, no one's going to, care about Vancouver.
Yeah.
And all these like big bands and artists, they just skip over Vancouver because they're like,
You're like, whatever.
I don't need to go see them.
Yeah, I'll just go to Seattle.
Yeah.
yeah.
All the people that want to see it, they'll come from Vancouver to Seattle.
Yeah, totally, man. No, I agree with everything you're saying, and I think slowly but surely, I think there's going to be a change happening. That's what I'm really.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it does need some pressure on the municipal government. Though the one we have right now sucks for many reasons, but a big part of it is that they don't really care about the arts. The people that we have representing us on the municipal level don't really care about the arts or supporting the arts on this kind of like ground floor level. And they're actually like fighting against us. They serve like the landlords, they serve like the contractors that are building all of these condos that are empty and stuff. They don't support the people living in this city that want to have an art space. And they also don't support like anything else here. Like they're not doing anything to support the homeless people.
100%.
To fight the drug crisis here. They're useless.
Yeah.
So far. Sean Orr is great though.
Sean Orr?
We need more people like Sean Orr in the city government. I don't want to be preachy or anything.
No, I appreciate that. I like it because people need to be passionate about things, and people need to like voice when something they're seeing is not working. And
like the people, in the municipal government, they're the ones that will fight for us or will fight against us.
Yeah.
Like, they're the ones that, we talk about like, all of us think about and talk about and see politics on a day-to-day level. We scroll through Instagram and we see like Donald Trump saying some crazy thing, or we see like a clip of Mark Carney or like anything. We see this like very high level government stuff, but like the stuff that directly affects us is a lot of the time municipal governments, and they're the ones that have the power to shift our day-to-day life and existence. And right now we have like most of the people that are sitting in city council that are just completely ambivalent about all of the real issues that are happening in the city, and they're trying to make more money for developers. They're trying to like make more money for corporations, and they're just ignoring the strife of the people that are living on the ground. The mental health crisis is being ignored. People are being turned away from like the access and assessment center because they're understaffed and underfunded. Like we have all of these issues, and those are all municipal issues. And we don't need more police officers on the street. We need more mental health workers, and we need more financial support and structural support for the arts.
Yeah, you gotta treat the cause, not the symptom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's lack of support in all fronts, right? Like rehabilitation, mental health support, like drop-in counseling, like all those things are like so essential to, I think, people who need that support are just being left out, and then they're being literally hung out to dry. Yeah.
But you've been doing great work with that. The Champions of Hope series is so awesome. Raising money for like such an important cause. Like that's the exact type of stuff that we need so much more of. And like that type of like event should be getting so much funding from the city that you literally have like no idea what to do with all the money you have. You're like, I guess we'll buy streamers. They should be like paying you so much money to put on these events.
Yeah, dude.
But like how, they don't care.
Yeah, and what's funny with that? It's like the municipal government doesn't care, but we've had so many companies back us to put on these events.
Oh, that's good.
Like a lot of
really
like
good.
trades companies that have sponsored the event to support the art scene, to support the charities, because we pick a different charity every single time, and we focus on charities that directly impact the community. They're doing like work on the ground, like the food bank, like the CMHA, the Christmas Bureau. We're doing the Downtown Eastside Women's Shelter in October. Like things that directly impact the community, right? And that's the one area where I see a lot of struggle, and is getting funding for these shows.
Yeah.
And like trying to like explain to people that like we need funding because it's going to help not only the nonprofits but the musicians too in the art scene, right?
Totally.
Because I've played shows where we've made like $34 the night, and it's very debilitating, and it's very like, what's it called, like demotivating.
Yeah, totally.
And I want to be part of that solution where we pay all our artists well to come and play, so that it motivates them to continue doing what they're doing, because you never know what art can like start a movement, you know what I mean, or create a real, like every art I think creates a real impact, but I think you just never know when a person has another great song idea or a great album idea, or is just like one bad show away from quitting.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
So yeah, like we do our best to like pay everyone fairly, to raise good funds for charities. And again, if it wasn't for bands like you who play at our show, for all the audience members who came to our show, for our sponsors, like we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And we have a lot of gratitude for that.
Well, that's the type of stuff that this city needs more of.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of thing that like enriches the music scene, and also like fights against the horrible stuff that is going on in the city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this city is like, it's hard sometimes walking through this city to like see how much suffering and pain there is. I don't think it's not a normal thing.
It's not.
You don't go through like, not every city has what we see here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something but it's like we're so used to it.
You speak of the Overton window, right?
Yeah.
This is the same thing, right? It's like we get so normalized to it, like seeing people on the street.
Yeah, we don't even think about it. And then people, like, when they get used to it, they lose compassion for it.
Yeah.
And they'll see someone going through like a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like, ugh,
Yeah.
I gotta get away from that.
Yeah.
What's this guy doing?
Yeah.
And that's like the worst response to it. But like, it's not normal for this to be happening in this city. And like, I don't know, like we need stuff that fosters like compassion and care,
mm-hmm.
and collective, I don't know, collectivism,
mm-hmm.
all of these things to like overcome all of these crazy issues in this city.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think the Champions of Hope show series has been like, it's been a really great staple of the community. I'm happy that you've been doing that.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And again, if it wasn't for bands, and we have art vendors now too that have been coming to the show and selling art as well. Like, it wasn't for all that stuff, like we couldn't do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's something that I really, really want to take part in the solution, especially the downtown east side. Like we had a show on the weekend, Champions of Hope show at the Astoria, which is like right in the heart of like the downtown east side.
Yeah.
And luckily we had a lot of like great people there, but like you see the struggle going on around you, and you see people who are just suffering on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, it's really hard to see that.
Yeah.
And that is right in the heart of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe like right on the edge of the heart of it.
Edge of the heart. Yeah, it's like the blood vessel leading up to the heart. Yeah.
The ventricule.
Exactly, man. Yeah. So yeah, we're doing what we can, and what about you? Like, what's next for Julien Lavoie and your music, and like, where do you see yourself going in the next couple of years?
Well, I am putting together another project. I have like a bunch of songs written, and I'm slowly recording them. Hopefully that's something that I can get done sooner rather than later. I think it's just a matter of finding the time to go into the studio and actually sit down and record it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's already like written and planned out. So I'm hoping to put that out soon. I am actually like moving out of Vancouver at the end of August.
No way. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go to London, Ontario to get my master's in philosophy.
Oh, okay, good for you.
But it's only a 1-year program, and then I'm expecting to come back here after
Okay,
that.
thank God. I was like, no.
It's just maybe 8 months that I'd be gone. But I'm very excited for that. I'm excited to kind of like get some time to really dive into my interest in philosophy. And I'm gonna bring all of my like home recording stuff with me, so I'm hoping that I could get a lot of the recording done while I'm there as well.
That'd be sick.
So then when I come back, I'll have something new to like, share with people.
Does this next project have a name yet?
No, it doesn't have a name. I was really drunk like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I'm going to call it Julien Lavoie Naked, and then it's going to be a picture of me naked holding a guitar. But then I was like, I don't know if anyone wants to see that, so I'll probably come up with a different name.
Yeah.
The reason it was going to be naked was because a lot of the songs were just going to be me playing an acoustic and
nice.
singing. And so I was like, yeah, that's like naked. I should be naked on the cover. But it's not going to be called that. But I'll come up with an actual
Placeholder name Julien Lavoie Naked.
Yeah, that's the placeholder name. But it's going to be a lot of acoustic songs. It's basically like the last year or so, I've been like finishing my undergrad, and I decided I needed to like give it my all and like try to do as well as I can. And so I had like almost no time for music, at least in like the formal sense that I was doing it the last few years. I wasn't going into the studio. I didn't really plan that many shows. I wasn't doing a lot. What I did have is my acoustic guitar, and I can never go longer than a day without playing music. So I was always picking up my guitar, procrastinating, writing essays and whatever else, and I was writing stuff, and I have like just a handful of very different songs that are all like acoustic and kind of folky. Like I got really into Neutral Milk Hotel and Elliott Smith over the last year.
Nice, me too.
And they've been really, really inspiring me. And I want to make more like kind of just raw, like unfiltered music, unedited. And so the next project will most likely be centered around that. And then I also have like a few songs that are more full band that I want to record my whole live band together, so that I can kind of capture that, because we don't have anything like solid out there right now. It's a very different sound live versus what I have recorded.
With your full band, like live off the floor? Or just full band all tracked?
It'll either be, some of it might be live off the floor, or we might do some retracking. But yeah, it depends on the song. But I want them to be featured in it, because like they've been so integral to my music process for the last 2-3 years, and I feel like there isn't enough of a representation of all of them in the music that I have out yet. And so I want to capture the very different type of music that we play when we're all together.
Why don't you shout out your band?
The band, we got Michael Wadham playing drums.
Legend. One
of the best drummers in the scene. He's in like 20 bands. Basically every week you can see him play in 6 different bands. Oscar Paulson plays the bass. He's like a genius, like certified genius, and is an amazing bass player. Can slap, can do anything. And Adam Kyle, the saxophone player.
Prolific.
Yeah, he's in Spank Williams, and is like an icon in that. He plays all throughout the scene. He teaches. He does everything. Matteo Damascelli, I've been playing with him the longest. He's been taking a bit of a break from music to get his master's. So we haven't played together recently, but he is like a phenomenal keyboard player. And I feel lucky to have anyone willing to play my songs with me on stage, but I'm so like blessed to have this group of people playing with me. They're so amazing.
Matteo, complete stunner.
Yeah. Such a handsome man.
Yes, that way too. Yeah. Beautiful specimen.
Handsome man. Plays such beautiful music. Yeah. No, I'm very lucky to play with these people. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. Okay, so let's wrap up here because I don't want to take up too much of your time as much as I love talking with Julien Lavoie.
Been very fun. Oui, oui, bonjour, merci.
Bonjour, merci. Comment t'appelles-tu? I can't speak French. So I asked this question to the last band I did a podcast with. I ripped it off from another guy. I think I can't remember his name. He's a blonde dude, curly hair, has interviewed a lot of very big people in the self-help scene. It's like Alex Neil. Okay, Alex Neil.
Okay.
He asked this question to the guys he was like interviewing, and I think it's a fantastic question. Let's say all your music was just taken off the internet, like taken off, it's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
What would you want the core message to be left with people from your art?
That is a good question.
Yeah, shout out Alex Neil.
Shout out Alex Neil. Thanks, man. Thanks, Alex Neil. Let me think. I guess like the core message would be that that you're not alone going through hard moments in life, that sometimes you feel isolated and like you're going through the worst possible thing in the world, and it feels like it's just you going through it by yourself and no one else can understand what you're going through. And I would want my music to leave some impression that you're not alone going through that, and that people care, and that people are listening, and people understand what you're going through, and that you do work through it and you get to the other side. And it's a process, but every day gets you further towards that goal, and you just have to keep pushing through.
Mm-hmm.
I think hopefully that would be the message that I can leave.
Amazing. And what would be like some advice that you would want to give someone who is wanting to start a band, wanting to break into the Vancouver music scene? What would be some advice you would give them?
Play covers.
Play Creep 12 times.
Play Creep 12 times. Play Wonderwall. No. Yeah, I would say like just do it. Like just don't be afraid to play a show, even if it's not perfect and like you don't have like a full set figured out. Like just get yourself in front of people and like involved in the music scene. Even playing 2 songs, so you could play the rest of them or covers. You could even play a 10-minute set. Like just you put yourself out there and play music, and like it just kind of it comes together through the process, and you can't hide your music. You don't get anywhere hiding it, and you can always think to yourself that it could be better and it could be more perfect, and you don't want it to be seen yet because it's not at the level you want it to be. Stop. Just get out there and start playing music. I think that's my message. I'm always like hiding. I don't want people to hear the stuff until it's perfect. But like that's selfish.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to put it out there, I think.
Yeah, people got to connect with your music and hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
100%. Where can people find you? Like your socials, not your address.
I'm at 1666. You can find me on Instagram, Julien.Lavoie, JUULIEN.LAVOIE. Spotify, same name, but with 1 U. I'm on SoundCloud, Bandcamp, YouTube. I have a couple music videos, visualizers out. Yeah, and you can just find me, hanging out on the street sometimes.
Nice.
If you see me, say hi. I'm just hanging out. I'm at the corner of like Burrard and Robson very often. I'll just chill there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, it's been. I had so many questions I wanted to ask you, but we went in way better directions than I applied for.
We had a lot of tangents.
This is perfect. It's perfect. It's free flowing, right? And I want to give people the space to talk about what they want to talk about, and yeah.
Well, I'm happy that I got to be a part of this. I'm happy you let me talk about random stuff.
I'm happy you let you talk about random stuff.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have you on again once you come back from London, Ontario.
That'd be great. I'll have some more philosophy to talk about.
Yes, that would be perfect.
And more music.
Perfect. Definitely more music. You better.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll wrap up here. This audio that I want to learn. It's gonna be really loud. Just careful. And we're out.